What's going on, guys? Coach Chris here, and today I want to talk to you guys about a few different ideas that you guys can be using while you're kind of stuck at home. I'm going to give options for those of you guys who might not have a lot of equipment, those of you guys have minimal equipment, and then those of you guys who have actual equipment. I know myself, I come from a strength training background, powerlifting background, and I'm used to coaching people in an environment where, you know, we have access to barbells, we have access to plates, we have access to all these accessory machines, dumbbells, and different things like this, bands even. I know when we're locked down here, a lot of us weren't prepared for this, so we don't have too many pieces of equipment. The number one thing I would start off with is for those of you guys without equipment, and that would be setting a goal of mastering bodyweight movements. I would recommend trying to master the bodyweight basics. So things like push-ups, the air squat, different types of single leg variations like lunges, single leg deadlifts, just balancing on one foot, side lunges, and then all the types of planks and hollow positions that you can go through. I'll be demonstrating some of those throughout this video as you guys can kind of see, but I would recommend really getting good at these types of bodyweight movements first and then trying to advance yourself. So if you guys can get access to a chin-up bar after that, you can do things like hanging leg raises with the chin-up bar. You can do all different kinds of pull-ups and all these types of upper body movements that when you go back to the gym afterwards, you'll actually be stronger. A lot of powerlifters and strength athletes and people in athletics in off seasons, what they do a lot of is these types of bodyweight movements and rehabilitation movements, which I'll be showing you a lot more of in another video. But the thing about these exercises is that they're actually great for bulletproofing the body against heavier weights, against even when you kind of have a slip up in technique, you have the stability and strength to kind of get yourself out of that or prevent that injury from happening. The exercise I would basically go over for sure, the top 5. I would get really good at side planks of all sorts, very good at hollow hold positions. And that can even be from a chin-up bar where your legs are up and raised in L-sit position almost. I would count that as a hollow rock position. I would recommend getting very, very good at different types of pull-ups, chin-ups, any type of a bodyweight row like this. You can even do inverted rows. If you have access to a broomstick and a couple of chairs, you kind of set it up like that. I've seen a lot of people on Instagram doing those too. So these are gonna definitely take care of your back exercises. But even if you don't have access to that, you can do towel rows, different things like this for your upper back, biceps. Other than that, lots of push-up variations that you could be doing, lots of handstand push-ups that you can eventually progress to as well. So if you're trying to get into more advanced bodyweight exercises, things like pistol squats, things like elevated, rear foot elevated lunges, if you can find some kind of a load around the house, like even like a jug of water, that'd be fantastic. And then single arm push-ups, handstand push-ups, different types of pull-ups of all variations. Like I said, those are fantastic bodyweight movements. I'll be able to put together a program for you guys as well. You guys follow me on Instagram for that, Chris Shino Training. If you guys DM me, I'd love to send you guys some tips or the whole program itself, all bodyweight stuff. If you have some equipment, what I'd recommend if you have some limited equipment, I would classify that as light dumbbells, maybe light kettlebells, or even light bands. Long bands, the ones that you can pull apart and stuff. If you have access to those, you're kind of in the money, because now you can actually take all those bodyweight exercises I just mentioned before, lunges, now you can add rows with the dumbbells. So you can do a single leg RDL, which is kind of you're on one leg, you're bending over, and then you can do your dumbbell rows. You don't have access to the dumbbells or the kettlebells, you take that band, you step on it, and now you take it and you do your rows from there. There's tons of variations like this you can do. You can throw the band over your neck, step on it. You can do air squats like that. So now you have a banded resistance. So all these movements that you can do with that, lots of different renegade rows from plank. You're doing your rows with the dumbbells, or you're doing flies with your lighter dumbbells if you only have access to 3 to 5 pounds. Tons of options for that as well. From the L-sit position, you can do different types of one-arm presses, and there's just so many things that you can take these gymnastics basics and you can add a little bit of load. If you have access to anything, it'll work. I mean, for example, if you only have access to lighter dumbbells, you're saying, hey Chris, I can't do the rows, like I'm not feeling anything, don't do rows anymore, do some kind of a reverse fly. So if I'm in a plank, instead of trying to do that renegade row where I'm pulling my elbow back, I can actually make this movement a lot harder even without any load by just straightening my arm. Right? I'm making this lever a lot longer. This shoulder, rear delt, specifically, especially if we're in a plank position, is gonna have to work a ton harder, and it's gonna be working all of our retractors in our upper backs way harder. That means basically you don't need as much weight and you can get away with lighter dumbbells and have a fantastic workout. If you have access to a full gym, then I mean, what are you asking me for? I'm just joking. you can basically, if you have access to a barbell, you're in the money, because now you can do all the basic exercises. But I wouldn't even take that as an excuse not to do some of these other movements, because these beginner movements, these basics, depending on what time frame you're in, you could be using this even though you're not, even though you have access to a full out gym. You don't necessarily have to continue just beating yourself up. If you've only been training with barbells for the last like 16 weeks, 20 weeks, 24 weeks, maybe it is time for you to switch it up. I mean, a lot of people get injuries just from repetitive movement. For example, piano players, whatever, they get all kinds of problems with their fingers. Now, why would they get problems with their fingers? They're not lifting anything heavy, they're not doing finger curls. No, they're doing repetitive strain exercises, the same as if you worked on a line in a car manufacturing company or any type of any type of manufacturing company. You're gonna be doing the same movement over and over, and then all of a sudden you get these problems. And even if you are doing those other exercises, this seems to never go away because you're consistently doing that 8 hours a day. Or you're playing piano 8 hours a day, you're playing guitar 6 hours a day, whatever, playing the skin flute. Anyways, so pretty much what I'm saying is, if you guys want to get a good workout in, these bodyweight movements and these movements with the bands and stuff that everyone's making fun of on Instagram, all the serious lifters, I mean, these are gonna help you, stabilize little muscles that you don't work normally in the gym with all the big power movements. And they can actually be a great way to keep you injury proof. And I feel like instead of just taking full deloads like some powerlifters do, it makes a lot more sense to almost incorporate, like, every 4th week you do 1 week of a lot of body weight stability type drills, a lot of physiotherapy type movements, and these things will just exponentially help your strength in the future, because now you're making sure everything is healthy, everything is working properly, and you're not gonna experience these same injuries that your partners will, who are just doing the main lifts over and over again. Another thing to consider is there's tons of little muscles that we don't work every day. I mean, the obliques, a lot of the QL muscles, all these glute medius, the glute min, glute max, all these muscles that are hit with funkier little specific movements. And I think to get the most bang for your buck out of the big lifts, if we can kind of hone in on each of these little muscle groups and really strengthen them with these specific exercises, you're gonna be way ahead of the curve. So basically what I'm saying is, don't give up if you don't have a lot of gym equipment. Always take things for the positive, okay? This could be a time where you're healing, you're letting your joints heal from all the heavy lifting or from all the running you've been doing or all these other movements you've been doing that are very hard on the body. Take this time, do slow and steady exercises like this. Use less weight. You're not gonna lose all your gains, don't worry. I mean, there's tons of studies that show, even if you detrained for 33 weeks, I think the study was something like, if you have been training for 9 weeks straight, and you take 33 weeks off, and then you came back to it, you will still keep some of those strength gains. Muscle size will go down, but that's why we have things like satellite cells and all these things that make up the idea of muscle memory that will kick in as soon as you start lifting heavy again. So even if you don't have any gym equipment. But I mean, if you're going to failure with all your bodyweight movements and you're still keeping a consistent training log and you're making sure you're staying on some kind of routine, you're not gonna lose that much muscle either. Because as long as there's a stimulus to the muscle and you're eating enough protein, it's gonna get those signals through mTOR and all these other pathways that help us build muscle to keep it on. Anyways, that was a long rant, guys. I hope you guys took something out of that. I mean, hopefully more videos coming soon. It won't just be this one and done. And once we have access to the gym again, I'll be able to show you a ton more content. Be on the lookout for actual bodyweight workouts I'm gonna be releasing on YouTube as well. Little 10, 15, 20-minute movements. Talking about some of those exercises that I just mentioned in the beginning of that movement, I'll actually demonstrate those as well. You can just follow along with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys got something out of it. And if you liked it, throw a like, subscribe, do all the stuff that YouTubers say. Share this with your friends, and follow me on Instagram. Thanks.